What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. I'm your host, Ronald Cabang from Wagertalk.com and themoneyballer.com. Yesterday, not their best day in the MLB. Last couple of days took 2 straight days of losses. But man, that's what happens. Kind of, I guess, regression, I guess you want to call it. So last week had 11 straight wins. And this week, starting off with Sunday and Monday, 0-4. So that's how it goes. Hopefully, we get back on track today. Let's get into some of the games here. I'll share my screen here. Why is not sharing? All right, there you go. I'm just gonna go through a few of the games to start with, and then if you guys want to drop any games you want to dive into, just let me know, and we'll go through them. I see some messages here. What's good, Jose? GB. Okay, I'll check that right after the show. Bruce Cotney, let's have a good day. Seattle and Detroit. Yeah, we could look at that one. Any home run plays? I don't really do props. It's mostly sides and totals. Royals, Twins, or Dodgers, Brewers. Okay. Let's dive into the slate here. First game. Oops, gotta log in. So this is moneyballer.com, themoneyballer.com. First game was Seattle and Detroit. The Nerfy. I don't really do Nerfies either. But we can look into it. Who's starting for the Mariners? We don't have a starter right now. So maybe we skip that game. Seattle. Oh, it's Kirby. All right, 1 second. Let me get that fixed. So Kirby is starting. All right, let's go back. All right, George Kirby and Terry Skubal. Mariners a +1 on the rating system here, so slight edge there. Starting pitcher matchup goes to Skubal, 3 out of 4. So they have the edge there, but bullpen and batting looks like it goes to the Mariners. If you look at the schedule, first game on the road here for the Mariners after a few series at home. So that's going to be interesting there. The Tigers, well, both teams have rest, so that's one good thing there. Tigers first game home off of 2 series on the road. If you look at last 5 starts, Kirby gave up 2 home runs, 3 earned runs in his last one versus Detroit too. Okay, so they got to him in the last one. So this is like a quick revenge or whatever. Seems like the same matchup. They faced each other on the same day. Oh yeah, so same matchup, same exact starting pitcher matchup. Skubal actually gave up 1 home run in 4 of his last 5 starts. If you look at the splits by starter, first 5 here for Skubal, 13, 5, and 4. It pops out here, but this is interesting here as road favorites. George Kirby, 4, 2, and 1 as road favorites, but just 2 and 5 on the full game. And you can see here Skubal 2-0 as home dogs. Total perspective, overs for Detroit for Skubal, but George Kirby 6-1 to the under as a road favorite. If we look at splits by right-handed or left-handed pitcher, the first 5 for the Mariners look pretty solid, 18, 11, and 4 overall, but 7, 2, and 1 as a road favorite. And then the opposite here, Tigers versus versus right-handed pitchers as home dogs, 6, 11, and 4. Total Total perspective, road favorite 6-2-2 to the over versus left-handed pitchers in the first 5. Nothing else that pops out, but it's just interesting here. Road favorite, they go over, but overall, they tend to go to the under. Kirby's terrible on the road. So people are looking towards the under. All right, let's look at the stats here, or last 30 days. Terry Scooble's 4-0 to the over in the last 30 days, 3-1 to the over in the first 5. First 5 for the Mariners, 5-2, 2-0 as road favorites. This thing pops out a lot for me too. 1-7-1 in the first 5 versus right-handed pitchers as home dogs here. Unders, first 5, 7-2 to the under right there for the Tigers in the first 5 as home dogs. Overs here for the Mariners. So we got to look at this offense. Tigers offense really struggling right now. 3.6 runs per game, 4.5 for the Mariners. So they're starting to pick things up a little bit offensively. You can see in the last series 12-4 and 6-4, and that's after going struggling here 2-2-0. If you look at the starting pitcher matchup, both really solid. Kirby 2.31 ERA, 9.21 FIP, 3.29 ERA, 3.11 FIP here. Both pretty good at striking out batters. You can see here Mariners really struggle with that K percentage. As far as home runs, I don't think either one of these give up at a high rate. So probably not expecting home runs on here, except for when it comes to the bullpen. And bullpen is pretty even, in my opinion. Maybe slight positive regression for the Mariners. If we were looking at an under, I would probably just say the first 5 under. Maybe kind of stick with that right there. 7-2 to the under in the first 5 with the Tigers. Also, maybe lean towards the Mariners in the first 5 as well. Their offenses looked a little bit better. Kirby has been really solid there. And then you can see this trend right here. Tigers versus right-handed pitchers. First 5 in the last 30 days. 1-7-1. So I would lean towards Mariners first 5. Maybe the under in the first 5 as well. Kirby deals. Yeah, I definitely agree. Was good, Justin. Astros and Rays. Yeah, we can go to that too. I think there was another game before that though. Royals and Twins. All right, so that was the Mariners game right there. Royals, Twins. Damn, I forgot to put the banner. Royals, Twins. All right, Royals and Twins. Who's pitching for the Twins here? Minnesota. Matthews. Is this his first start for Matthews? Because I think that's the reason why we don't have data on him. Matthews. Yeah, we don't have any data on Matthews here, so we'll go ahead and skip this one. The other game was Dodgers Brewers. All right, let's go to Dodgers Brewers. Oh, I think I looked at this one. I actually haven't placed a bet yet today, so kind of going through this with you guys and looking for a bet. Dodgers Brewers. All right, so we got Dodgers Brewers. Brewers as slight home dogs here. We got Stone versus Rhea. Dodgers or Brewers actually with a +4 in the matchup rating here. Looks like they have the edge at the starting pitcher matchup, but mainly right here in the offense. But that we talked about this yesterday. You know, the Dodgers are getting some guys back on the offensive side of the ball. This is righty versus righty. Stone here. He's been struggling. Look at that. At least one home run given up in 5 straight starts there. Ton of hits being given up, not lasting that long in his starts either. So he could be this Brewers offense can probably get to him. Rhea definitely more consistent here. Obviously that one bad start there, but other than that, pretty strong in the last 5 starts. If we look at full season trends, 15-5 straight up here for Rhea. Home dog 1-0 as a dog in general, 7-3 on the full game. Here on the road as road favorites, 5-2. So Stone's been pretty solid as well in this situation. From a total perspective, nothing really that pops out to me. If we look at versus right-handed pitchers, Brewers on a full game. This is interesting. So you go 52-32 in the full game, but only 38, 34, and 12 in the first 5. And that's kind of the opposite here for the Dodgers. 47, 31, and 3 in the first 5, but 43 and 38 on the full game. So their bullpen is struggling. If we look from a total perspective, you can see this spot right here. It looks like an over game. Brewers 49, 32, and 3 to the over on the season versus right-handed pitchers. As home dogs specifically, 5-2 to the over first 5 and 6-1 on the full game. Let's pull in the last 30 days. Last 30 days, 3-0 for Rhea, 1-3 for Stone. Totals for by starter, nothing huge there. 11-3 straight up for the Brewers versus right-handed pitchers in the last 30 days. Dodgers been doing really well too, though. In the first 5, 14-4 straight up in the first 5, 5-1 as a road favorite. Comes down a little bit, but just slightly. 12-6 in the full game. 3-3 here as road favorites. If you look at the stats last 30 days, pointing towards the Brewers slightly, 5.2 runs per game, 4.8 for the Dodgers. But like we talked about yesterday, they got some reinforcements. So offense should come back to life here for the Dodgers. Last 30 days from a pitching perspective, definitely a huge advantage on the Brewers side from a starting pitcher matchup here. 1.57 ERA, 2.48 FIP compared to right around 6 ERA, 6.4 FIP there. And we talked about the home runs being given up, and that's what the Brewers do. They have a lot of power here. You got that 177 ISO, 31 home runs. The hard hit rate right there, 39.4. It's just a matter of getting that barrel rate up a little bit more, and they can probably get some home runs today. From a bullpen perspective, definitely the Brewers as well. So pitching, starting pitcher, and the bullpen seems like it looks towards the Brewers. And offense is pretty even. I would have to look towards the Brewers as home dogs here on the money line. So I definitely agree with the matchup rating. Let's look at the chat here. What are you guys' thoughts? Brewers plus 105. I would definitely agree right there. Matthews isn't pitching. So I don't know not sure who's starting for that game then. So yeah, this one I would look towards the Brewers. I don't know where to go from a total perspective. If I look at the total, I would lean over, but I would look more towards the side here on the Brewers. All right, any other games you guys want to dive into here? Make sure to drop them in. Astros versus Rays. Let's go to that one. Astros and Rays there. All right, so we have Kikuchi versus Baz. Looks like an even on the rating system. Bullpen goes to the Rays, batting goes to the Astros, and an even starting pitcher matchup. If we look at the schedule, Astros been on the road for quite a bit there. We have the Rays at home. This is second series at home. Kikuchi last 2 starts with Houston. His first 2 starts with Houston. Solid from a K rate perspective, but gave up at least 1 home run in each, 3 walks in each. Luckily, just 2 earned runs though. Going up over 5 innings in each one of those starts. If we look at Baz, no home runs in his last 4 starts, but giving up runs, 4 earned runs in his last one. Doesn't last too long. on average in the last 5 starts, under 5 innings pitched. Has some control issues himself. All right, so let's look at full season trends. Rays have quit for the season. What is it? 59, 59. They're at 500. All right, let's look at full season. This includes his stats with his trends with his previous team: 8, 13, and 4, 9 and 16. Road favorite 4 and 1, 3 and 2 on the full game. Baz split all the way through between the first 5 and the full game. Also with the totals, that's interesting. All right, so Kikuchi unders in the first 5, 16, 7, and 2 in the first 5, and then overs there, and most of that was with his previous team. So that's one thing to think about there. If we look at splits versus right-handed pitcher and left-handed pitcher, Ray's been pretty decent versus left-handed pitchers this season. And then the Astros versus right-handed pitchers, 47 and 37, 11 and 8 as road favorites. I'm assuming they're not profitable here in the first 5, 9, 9, and 1 at 5,500. If we look at the totals, unders on the full game for the Astros, 49, 33, and 2 to the under overall, 13, 5, and 1 as road favorites on the full game. The overs here for the first 5 on the Rays side, 4, 1, and 1 to the over as home dogs, 17, 11, and 2. Let's look at the last 30 days. Overs on the full game there. So the opposite. So we talked about the full season versus left-handed pitchers. Their overall records look pretty solid, but last 30 days they've been struggling. 2, 2, and 2, 2 and 4 on the full game, and you see here as home dogs 0, 1, and 1 in the first 5, and 0 and 2, and then road favorite Astros 3 and 1 for them. Opposites here for the first 5, 3, 1, and 2 to the over, 12, 3, and 2 to the under in the first 5 for the Astros, but both going towards the under in the full game. If we look at last 30 bats, I mean, both of these offenses seem to be struggling right now. Rays really struggling at the in their K rate, and Kikuchi's strikeout rate is really solid right now. So you can see his K is probably up there again against this Rays team. Some positive regression here on Kikuchi's side last 30 days. There's a 3-run gap there between ERA, FIP, and xFIP. If we look at Baz, pretty consistent, 3.79 ERA, 3.34 FIP. Home runs, Kikuchi gives up home runs at a pretty high rate there, but you can see here barrel rate and hard hit rate towards the bottom half of the league for the Rays. Bullpen-wise, Rays definitely have the advantage there. Even room for negative regression for the Astros. So I would probably look towards the Astros in the first 5 here. I would look towards the Astros in the first 5. I think we see positive regression with Kikuchi there. The Rays offense is struggling, and they don't have a lot of power, which is what Kikuchi's. That's how opponents are getting to Kikuchi, is that home run. And then just stay away from the bullpen. The other way to look at it is probably the full game under. I know a lot of this says over, but this is with the Blue Jays, I think, in my opinion. So his first match, that one went under. This one potentially went over. Yeah, it did go over by 1 run. So yeah, I would say full game under. Maybe Astros first 5 would be the leans on that one. Astros as road favorite off a road win. Trend to the under. Let's look at that. Oh, real quick. Someone talked about this. Where'd it go? Someone asked about this in our Discord in the Give Me the Dog. The Money Baller Discord. Since it's up, I'll just share it with you guys. But this is regarding the Yankees game. So basically, teams coming off a loss where they were at least a minus 300 favorite since 2018, 63 and 38 straight up, 43 46 on the run line with the minus 1.5. If we go and say it's the first game of the series, their last game was the first game of the series. So they lost the first game of the series, 23 and 10 straight up. You see the run line there. So nothing really profitable overall, but on the season, it has been profitable. 4-0 straight up, 4-0 on the run line. And you can see here that fits the Yankees and the White Sox today. But let's go to that query that GB had. So team, sorry. All right, so this is the Astros off a road win, and they're a road favorite. 10-3-1 to the under, mostly limiting their opponents. You can see they're 1-2. They do have a 4 here. So actually, let's look at that. Dang it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 games where they went over the 3.5. I mean, I could see Rays struggling offensively here. Maybe a Rays team total under specifically. But Baz has been pretty solid. So maybe just stick to the full game under for that game. All right, next up, Blue Jays and Angels. Blue Jays and Angels. All right, so we have Gossman versus Fulmer. Even on the rating system there. Schedule perspective, first series on the road for Toronto. They got the win yesterday 4-2. First series at home for the Angels. Gossman been giving up home runs pretty consistently. Decent start in the last one. Gave up only 2 earned runs in 8 innings pitched, but you can see there 4 straight starts with 3+ walks. That could be an issue. If we look at Fulmer, solid start here. Did give up 7 hits though. Only 1 strikeout in 4 innings pitched, so he didn't last long at all. There's something interesting here. We might need to look at this. I don't understand why there's multiple starts. Let's look at that real quick. So Fulmer. Five and 0. His last start was 8-7 versus Warren. Okay, there it is. Fulmer versus Warren. So he's actually 5-0 on the run line as a dog, but 3-2 straight up. At this price, probably really juiced on the run line. Seems like he's getting some run support, somewhat of some run support, but nothing too much. All right, let's go to the splits by starter full season. We just saw this 3-2 straight up, 2-1-2 in the first 5, 13-9-1 first 5, 13-10 full game. As road favorites, 4-1 on the first 5 in full game. Overs for Gossman. 18-5-2, 16-5-2 to over first 5, 18-5 in the full game. Road favorite, 3-0-2. Angels really struggle in the first 5 here versus right-handed pitchers, 30-55-10, 10-18-7 as home dogs. And you can see here, overall, nothing great, 42, 40-14, but as road favorites, 11-4, both on the first 5 and full game. From a total perspective, road favorite here, 10-5 to the under. Otherwise, nothing really significant. So let's look at the last 30 days. 4-0 for Gossman, 3-0-1, first 5, all overs. A lot of unders here for the Angel sides, mainly probably because of their offense. First 5 again, continue to struggle here. 0-2-1 as home dogs. As dogs in general, 2-7-1 versus right-handed pitchers in the first 5. So off the bat, just kind of looking towards the Blue Jays in the first 5. Offense, advantage to the Blue Jays, but I mean, neither of these teams are really hitting with power right now. You can see their ISO is low, barrel rate, hard hit rate are low. If you look at pitching matchup, both seem to have some slight negative regression, 4.13 ERA, 5.08 FIP. The xFIP even greater, 5.87. Same thing with Fulmer, 3.6 ERA, up to 4.18, and then up to 4.62. Gossman's not striking out anybody. Both of these guys are fly ball pitchers, and with both of them not really hitting with much power, we can see a lot of fly balls today. Bullpen perspective, a lot of negative regression here for the Angels that I see. Maybe this is, I don't know, this seems like an over. Even if they don't get hit home runs, both of these guys seem like they might get into a wall right here. Average is pretty solid. What have the Angels been doing lately? 2, 6, 4, 2, 9, 8, 2. Maybe just look towards the Blue Jays team total over. Blue Jays teams. All right, so this is what I would do based on what we looked at, the trends and the stats. It will probably be Blue Jays team total over or the Blue Jays first 5. Yeah, that would probably be it. I mean, because both on the recent form and full season, Angels have been a fade in that first 5 versus right-handed pitchers. So I would probably just do that. Blue Jays team total over or Angels. Sorry, Blue Jays first 5. Munaf 10-1. Run line and road starts. Kevin Gossman. 10-1 on the run line. Got you. So we have 9-2. I'm assuming it's because of the dog. So if we look at it as a road favorite, there you go. 4-1 straight up, 4-1 on the run line. There's that first 5 there for him. 4.4. And he gets his run support too in these situations, road favorite. I mean, both these all align with what I just said. So I would just say Blue Jays team total over or the first 5 on the Blue Jays. But this tells me here, first 5 probably would be the better option. Any chance we get the Dodgers game? I think we tried to. Did we go through that Dodgers game? I think we did the Dodgers game. I'm not 100% sure. Gotta be a reason. Yeah, definitely. I mean, line movement is definitely a cause of concern, but just stats and trends kind of point in the direction of Blue Jays. If you think that the Angels should be this side. It would probably be because of Fulmer being potentially the better starting pitcher. But I think that from an offensive perspective, it seems like it should be the Blue Jays. And also, there's maybe the bullpen too as well for the Angels might be the reason why. Let's go to Mets A's. Oh, we did talk about the Dodgers, Mo. So if you want to catch a replay, we did talk about the Dodgers game. I remember about it. All right, so A's and Mets. A's and Mets. Stripling and Blackburn. So Blackburn, what is this, like third start now with the Mets? Third start with the Mets. Okay. So we do have the rating system pointing towards the Mets here. Slight advantage on the bullpen, advantage there on the team batting, and then even at the starting pitcher matchup, which is interesting. You see the A's here, 2-11, Ross Stripling. All right, so if we go down here, we do have a baller system on the A's. Both have some rest, coming off some rest. The Mets coming all the way from Seattle, though. So Seattle to New York. Oakland coming off a pretty strong game here against the Blue Jays. Stripling coming off a sort of a bad start here. We gave up 1 home run, 4 earned runs, 5 1/3 against the White Sox. Dang, they lost to the White Sox. Okay, so Blackburn, last 2 starts with the Mets here. Pretty solid, only 1 earned run given up in each game. 1 home run given up in the last one. 6 innings. Let's look at full season trends. So Stripling on the full season, 2-12, first 5, 3-11, full game as road dogs. Man, they're just struggling overall. And then Blackburn, you can see here, this includes his time with his previous team, 9-2 straight up on the full game. Unders for both on the full game here, maybe slight trend, slight lean towards the under. A is obviously one of the worst teams in the league, 31, 57, and 6 in the first 5, 36 and 58 in the full game. Even worse as road dogs, 11, 30, and 5 here in the first 5. The Mets as home favorites, not that great, 11, 12, and 6. As home favorites, 16 and 13 as home favorites on the full game. So kind of leaning towards the under for the most part in all of these. Let's look at the last 30 days. 3-0 for Blackburn, 0-1 here for Stripling as road dogs. Unders 3-0. Neither team from a side perspective have the advantage in my opinion. Totals is interesting here, 4-1 to the over as home favorites. Last 30 from a batting perspective, offense goes to the A's in last 30 days. 5 runs per game, 4.2 for the Mets. Barrel rate is low. They're striking out at a high rate. Stripling, not a strikeout pitcher though. 2-0-3-3. So they should be able to get contact here against Stripling. They do have the hard hit rate. They have the power. It's just they're not getting contact, strong contact, or they're just striking out a lot. From some negative regression for Blackburn here, 3.18 ERA to FIP 4.88. He has been giving up home runs at a pretty decent rate there, and that's what the A's have been really relying on in the last 30 days. You can see their ISO above 200, 38 home runs in the last 30 days in 22 games. So it's really just their power that's getting them through the last 30 days. So that might be an issue for the Mets. Bullpen perspective, I mean, both pretty decent, but definitely the edge to the A's here. They have a strong bullpen there. I mean, part of me kind of want to look towards the A's as dogs here, even though the Mets, the rating system has the Mets. A lot of the stats are pointing towards the A's here. I'd actually lean towards the A's on the full game. Just take advantage of the bullpen as well. Yeah, if I was to bet this game, I would look towards the A's here. Oh yeah, that's right. Facing his old team makes sense. So they probably have some familiarity with his pitches. So I mean, would that be an advantage towards the A's offense, right? So I would say probably look towards the A's. All right. What time is it? I got one room for one more here. What up, LJ? Long time no talk. I guess you could say that. Yeah, we actually looked at this game, and I remember correctly now. We did look towards the Brewers side, so definitely aligned with you there. I got time for one more game, so if you guys want to drop one more game, you guys want to see, um, let me know. Boyle is the pitcher. Roos is out. Not really sure what you mean by that. All right, so I'm just gonna pick a random game then. No one drops one. What about the last game of the day? Braves Giants. Oh, there you go. Well, we're all in the same wavelength, so everyone dropped the same game. All right, so let's do Braves Giants here. All right, so we have Braves slight home road favorites there. Total at 8.5. Morton versus Harrison. Rating system does like the Braves there. Bullpen mainly the reason why, or pitching in general, the reason why for the bullpen. For the Braves. Second series on the road here for Atlanta, coming from Colorado. So that's probably one of the reasons they struggled there yesterday. Even though they got the win. Giants here, second series at home. Let's look at last five for Morton, coming off a really bad start here. It seems like he's just rotating bad and good. So he gave up 4 runs, 2 home runs here. The next start, really strong, just 1 home run, 1 earned run given up. Gave up 3 home runs, 5 earned run, 0. So if this pattern continues, he should have a strong start today. Harrison coming off a really good start too. He only went 4 2/3 though. Other than this game here against the Reds, it seems like he's been pretty solid. All right, let's look at full season trends. All right, so full season trends as road favorites: 4-1 in the first 5, 3-2 full game. Home dog, 2-1-1 for Harrison, 3-1 on the full game. But you can see here on the overall, it's pretty much the same on the first 5, but opposite on overall on the full game. 14-7 full game versus 9-12. Total perspective, slight lean towards the over in the first 5. You can see here 12-5-3 to the over, 11-8-2 to the over there, 13-8 to the over for full game for Harrison. And versus left-handed pitchers, the Braves on the season pretty decent, 20-10-4, 22-12 on the full game as road favorites. Better on the first 5 than the full game, 8-4-3, and then 8-7 on the full game. Giants versus right-handed pitchers. You can see here 34, 39, and 11 in the first 5, 46, 38 on the full game. From a total perspective, overall nothing significant, but you can see here as road favorites, 10-5 to the over, 6-3 to the over as home dogs. Let's look at last 30 days. So they don't see left-handed pitchers often, but in the last 30 days, 3-0-1 first 5, 3-1 full game. Unders in the first 5 in the last 30 days, 9-3-3 to the under first 5. You can see here 2-1-1 to the under overall in the first 5 for the Braves in those spots. First time as a home dog in the last 30 days, 9-4-2 overall in the first 5, 10-5 on the full game. That's an interesting matchup here. So let's see what the stats say. 4.3 runs per game, 4.2 runs per game, both striking out at a really high rate. But look at their barrel rate and hard hit rate. So when they do get contact, I mean, most likely it's going to be a home run. So you can see here, 24 games for the Braves, 46 home runs in the last 30 days. So they are definitely relying on the home runs. Pitching matchup. Both of them in the red here for home runs per 9 and home run per fly ball rate. So we might be seeing a lot of runs today. Let's see what they have here. Well, a lot of it probably has to do with this. Being in Colorado. But Giants, okay. Seems like, I mean, right off the bat, offenses are telling me over. If you look at the starting pitchers, Morton looks like he's going to struggle here. Giants should be able to get some home runs, probably. You can see that home run per 9 there. Harrison has been better, but 4.05 ERA, 4.58 FIP. They should be able to get some runs on him as well. And then the bullpens are pretty decent. But these guys, they don't get that far. So the bullpens are probably going to come in early. I mean, I would look towards the first 5 over, if anything. I know this doesn't say that, but first 5 over makes sense to me. Let me look at Morton here. So Jerry Davis is on the other side. San Fran and the under. I definitely agree with San Fran, especially from a pitching perspective. But the under, not 100% sure. Let's look at this real quick. So we go here. Charlie Morton, 9-12. Well, actually, he's been so there's that over on the first 5 and unders on the full game. So, I mean, there really is a situation where we both can hit there, Jerry. Almost 5.5 runs in the first 5 here for Morton's starts. So if we go specifically on the road here, over is 4-2-2 to the over, 5-3-1 to the over. Last 5 starts in this situation, L's, all L's, losing the last 4 by at least 2 runs each. So definitely look towards the Giants in this spot. So fading Morton on the road has been pretty profitable here. That first 5 over still looks like the way to go too. 4-2-2. Let's look at four and a half. So this is the opposite on this side. It says Braves. Charlie Morton's here a few times. Let's look at Morton specifically. All right, there you go. 4-0-1 in the first 5 when Morton's on the Braves versus left-handed pitchers, and Morton is the starter. 4-0-1 in the first 5. 6.2 runs. I think that probably would be the way that I go. Just kind of stay away from the bullpen and go with the first 5 over. That makes sense to me the most. All right. That should be it, guys. Let me stop sharing my screen. All right, so that's the show today. We went through a lot of games here. Totally forgot to write all my notes, but you guys kind of heard the show, heard the breakdowns, a lot of things that we talked about. We dove into it using themoneyballer.com. Sorry about that. Themoneyballer.com. You can see there. You can see all the systems that we have, the stats, the trends, the overall numbers. We also utilize Give Me the Dog here on the side to pull some other advanced queries as well. So that's how we run the show here. If this is the first time you watched it, but this is not, themoneyballer.com is not a pick site. That's definitely not what it is. It's stats, insights, trends, all the things you really need to handicap a game. So it's up to you to interpret how you want to play the game based on that information, right? But I go through it here on the show, how I would view it, what I would take on the games that you guys want to see. I haven't personally placed a bet yet today. I'm not sure if I'm going to. A lot of things we did talk about today made sense. So I have to rewatch the show to see what we discussed. But for the most part, themoneyballer.com, you could try a 7-day, to see if it helps you out or whatnot. I mean, you see it on the show. You see some of the things. We also have the NFL page up. We have the WNBA page up. We have the lines updated for WNBA already for the 15th. So if you handicap WNBA, that's ready to go as well. We have our model there for the WNBA that's been hitting at a really high rate. Just earlier this season, I hit it was 17 in a row in the W. And this is the site that I use to primarily handicap the games. Last week, I talked about earlier on the show. Last week, I hit 11 straight in the MLB. I mean, obviously, the last couple of days have not gone well for me, but I'm still profitable on the season. So that's really all that matters to me. I mean, this sports betting is all about the runs and how you deal with them. So hopefully, if I do place a bet, we bounce back and get right on track. The other thing to mention too is the Discord, themoneyballer.com/Discord. The Discord is free. You don't have to pay for it. Handicap games there. If you are a baller access member, you have an exclusive site page on the Discord that we're chatting about stuff in there too. So if you are a baller access member, make sure to check in on the Discord because you have exclusive access to us there. But yeah, that's it for the moneyballer.com. If we talk about some of the top looks, I do like that Brewers look that we talked about. Actually, I did have some notes. I did talk about the Brewers. The Brewers on the money line was one that I did like. I think we talked about this last game here, the the Braves and the Giants. I think that first 5 over look is really solid. What else was there? Oakland. I did lean towards Oakland on that one, just from a pitching perspective. What else was there? The Blue Jays and Angels. I didn't really like that game as far as what we looked at, what we broke down. Not really confident in that side or total that we talked about there, but yeah, the other games, like I said, so Atlanta Giants, so Braves Giants first 5 over, Brewers money line, and Oakland. Those would probably be my favorite 3 that we looked at. So we'll see if those make my card. I'll probably dive into it just a little bit more right after the show here. With that said, though, I do want to remind you guys to make sure you guys hit that like button, that subscribe button. Share it with your friends if you guys want to support the show, support me. To me, I feel like this is one of the more underrated shows out there on YouTube just because of how we break down games. It's not a pick. Yeah, we talk about picks and stuff like that, but I mean, if you don't follow me on Twitter or X, what I talk about is really the process. What Let's Cap is about is the process, the handicapping, the thought process behind what stats we look at. I don't always do the show by myself, but you obviously hear and see what I do handicapping the game. And, I do this over at Wagertalk, and we've been pretty successful on the year, profitable in NBA, WNBA, MLB last season, NFL spreads, we hit over 60%. So, these are the tools that I use. We got guys like Ski Profit using themoneyballer.com. Chris B. Capin uses it. Munaf uses it. The guys over at SGPN, they all have access to that. Several guys over at Wager Talk use it. And there's other handicappers who actually, reach out and we support each other, who also use the tools. YBB uses it, all these other guys. So with that said, that is the end of the show, guys. I always have to end the show like this, though. Whether you fade or follow, it's on you to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Till next time, peace.